So for this video, we're going to be still solving rational equations. So this time we're going to be solving by using the least common denominator. And so we're going to use this method when we have two or more rational expressions on one side. And what we're going to do to solve this is we're going to multiply each term by the least common denominator to eliminate all denominators. And then we're also going to check for extraneous solutions. Remember, the denominator cannot equal 0. So let's look at this first one. This first one, I have 5 over x plus 7/4 is equal to negative 9 over x. So the goal with this method is I want to multiply the least common denominator so I don't have any more fractions, and that it just becomes a normal equation that we're used to. And so to find what to multiply by, I'm going to use the least common denominator. And so here my denominators are x and 4, and so that means the least common denominator is going to be 4x. So I'm going to multiply the right side by 4x and the left side by 4x. And so on the left side, when I'm multiplying by 4x, I need to distribute to the 5 over x and to the 7 over 4. And so I have 5 over x times 4x over 1 plus 7 over 4 times 4x over 1 is equal to negative 9 over x times 4x over 1. So see, essentially I just multiply every single term by my least common denominator. And so I see something neat happens. All of my denominators cancel. When I do 5 over x times 4 over x, I see my x's cancel, and I just have 5 times 4, which is 20. When I do 7/4 times 4x, I see my 4's cancel, and I just have 7 times x. And then for the right-hand side, my x's cancel, and I just have negative 9 times 4, which is negative 36. And now I have a much easier equation to solve. And so I'm going to subtract 20 from both sides, and I get 7x is equal to negative 56. And then divide both sides by 7, and I get that x is equal to negative 8. And I see if I plug in x equals negative 8, I don't have a denominator equal to 0, so I am good here. Okay, let's look at this next one. So this next one, I have 1 minus 8 over x minus 5 is equal to 3 over x. I want to get rid of all my fractions, so I need to multiply by the least common denominator. My 1 doesn't have a denominator, but my other factors are x and x minus 5. And so that means that my least common denominator is x times x minus 5. So I'm going to multiply the left-hand side by x minus 5, and the right-hand side. So when I multiply the left-hand side, I'm going to distribute that to the 1, and so that gets me x times x minus 5. When I distribute it to the 8 over x minus 5, I see my x minus 5's cancel, and I'm left with just x. So writing that down below, I see what I did here is I multiplied those two together, my x minus 5's canceled, and I'm left with just 8x. It's equal to 3 over x times x minus times x minus 5, I see my x's cancel, and I'm left with just 3 times x minus 5. And then going ahead and simplifying this, x times x, I get x squared. X times negative 5, I get negative 5x, then minus 8x is equal to 3 times x, which is 3x, 3 times negative 5, which is negative 15. Here I see that I have a quadratic function, so I know I need to get all my terms on one side, and I'm going to move them to the side with my square term. So I'm going to subtract 3x and add 15. And so I get x squared minus 5x minus 8x minus 3x. I get negative 16x. Plus 15 is equal to 0. And then now I'm looking for two numbers that multiply to 15 and add to negative 16. I see that's going to be negative 1 and negative 15. And so setting those both equal to 0, I get that my solutions are 1 and 15. And checking both of those, I see neither of those are going to cause my denominator to equal 0. And so that means I am good.